Euler pseudo prime. Definition: let n be an odd integer and let b by n denote the Jacobi symbol. Then we know that if n is a prime number, then b raised to n minus 1 by 2 will be congruent to Legendre symbol b by n modulo n, where n is a prime. So we know that this relation will be satisfied whenever n is a prime number. If n is a composite number which is also odd, and if b is an integer such that GCD of n and b is equal to 1 and b raised to n minus 1 by 2 is congruent to Jacobi symbol b by n modulo n. That is, if this condition is satisfied even though n is an odd composite number, then n is called an Euler pseudo prime to the base b. From the definition itself, it is obvious that b raised to n minus 1 will be congruent to the square of Jacobi symbol modulo n, and that will imply that b raised to n is congruent to 1 modulo n, which implies that n is a pseudo prime to the base b whenever n is an Euler pseudo prime. So we have the result: if n is an Euler pseudo prime to the base b, then it is a pseudo prime to the same base b. Now let us consider some examples. We know that 91 is a pseudo prime to the base 3, as we have seen earlier. That is, 3 raised to 90 is congruent to 1 modulo 91. But we can observe that b raised to n minus 1 by 2, that is 3 raised to 91 minus 1 divided by 2, which is 45, is not congruent to 1 or minus 1, since this is in fact congruent to 27 modulo 91. Therefore, b raised to n minus 1 by 2 is not congruent to Jacobi symbol b by n modulo n here, since the value of the Jacobi symbol will be either 0 or plus or minus 1. Here b raised to n minus 1 by 2 is not congruent to any of these values. So we can say that 91 is not an Euler pseudo prime to the base 3, even though 91 is a pseudo prime to the same base. So we can say that the converse of the above proposition is false. That is, even if n is a pseudo prime to the base b, n need not be an Euler pseudo prime to the same base. As another example, we can observe that 91 is an Euler pseudo prime to the base 10, since 10 raised to 45 is congruent to minus 1 modulo 91, and the Jacobi symbol 10 by 91 is also equal to minus 1. A trivial example for an Euler pseudo prime would be any odd composite number n to the base plus or minus 1. Now let us describe the Solovay-Trassen primality test. As the name suggests, this is a test for checking whether a given positive odd integer is prime or composite. Let us suppose that n is a positive odd integer and that we would like to know whether n is prime or composite. Let us choose k integers 0 less than b less than n at random. For each b, first compute b raised to n minus 1 by 2 and the Jacobi symbol b by n, and we can see that finding b raised to n minus 1 by 2 takes big of log cube n bit operations using the repeated squaring method. Finding Jacobi symbol b by n also takes big of log cube n bit operations if these two values, that is Jacobi symbol b by n and b raised to n minus 1 by 2 are not congruent, modulo n for some b, then we can conclude that n is composite and we can terminate the primality test. Otherwise, we will need to test after taking a different base. So, we need to move on to the next base b. If b by n is congruent to b raised to n minus 1 by 2 modulo n for all k random choices of b, then the probability that n is composite despite passing all of the tests is at most 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 k times, since the probability that n is composite after conducting one trial, one test is at most 1 by 2 and we have tested for primality k times. So, the probability will be 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 into etc. 1 by 2 k times, which will be 1 by 2 raised to k. Thus, this test, the Solovay-Strassen test, is a probabilistic algorithm which leads either to the conclusion that n is composite or to the conclusion that it is probably prime. Note that for any composite integer n, this test will fail for at least half of the possible bases b. Next is strong pseudo prime. Definition: let n be an odd composite number and write n minus 1 equal to 2 raised to s into t with t odd. Let b be a member of z by nz star. So, b and n are relatively prime if n and b satisfy the condition either b raised to t congruent to 1 modulo n or there exists r where 0 less than or equal to r less than s such that b raised to 2 raised to r into t congruent to minus 1 modulo n. Then n is called a strong pseudo prime to the base b. So, if n is a strong pseudo prime to the base b, then either b raised to t will be congruent to 1 modulo n or there will exist a number r which lies in between 0 and s minus 1 such that b raised to 2 raised to r into t is congruent to minus 1 modulo n. Next, let us consider Miller-Rabin test. which is based on the notion of strong pseudo prime. Here, suppose that n is a pseudo prime to the base b, that is b raised to n minus 1 is congruent to 1 modulo n. Now, if we raise b to the n minus 1 by 2th, that is the square root of this number, then if n is a prime number, then we will get either plus or minus 1, since the square root of this 1 will be either plus or minus 1 modulo prime. And now if the n minus 1 by 2th power is still plus 1, then we can raise b to the n minus 1 by 4th, that is the square root of the number b raised to n minus 1 by 2, and so on, b n minus 1 by 2 raised to sth powers. Then the first residue class we get other than plus 1 must be minus 1. If n is a prime, then we know that the square roots of 1 modulo that number will be either plus or minus 1. So, since b raised to n minus 1 is congruent to 1, if we take the square root, that is b raised to n minus 1 by 2, will be either plus or minus 1. If it is again plus 1, then we can consider the square root of that number, which is b raised to n minus 1 by 4, which will be either plus or minus 1 again. And proceeding like this, the first residue class we will be getting other than plus 1 must be minus 1 if n is a prime number. This fact can be used to test whether n is a prime. So in practice, we will be proceeding in the other direction, that is by setting n minus 1 equal to 2 raised to s into t, where t is odd. Then we will be computing p raised to t modulo n, and if it is not congruent to plus 1, then we will be squaring that number to get b raised to 2t modulo n. Then again on squaring we will be getting b raised to 2 square into t modulo n, and so on until we first obtain the residue plus 1. If the number n is a prime, then in the step before getting plus 1, we must have had minus 1. Otherwise, we will be able to conclude that n is composite. This test is known as Miller-Rabin test. Now let us consider a proposition which states that if n is congruent to 3 modulo 4, then n is a strong pseudo prime to the base b if and only if it is an Euler pseudo prime to the base b. When n is congruent to 3 modulo 4, it means that n minus 3 is a multiple of 4. So we can express it as some 4 into theta, where theta is an integer. So we can express n as 4 theta plus 3, a multiple of 4 plus 3. So that n minus 1 is equal to 4 theta plus 2. So that number will be a multiple of 2. So we can express it as 2 into 2 theta plus 1. 2 into an odd number. Here if we express this number n minus 1 in the form 2 raised to s into t, then s will be 1 and t will be 2 theta plus 1. So we can express t as n minus 1 divided by 2, since n minus 1 is equal to 2 into 2 theta plus 1. So 2 theta plus 1 can be expressed as this n minus 1 divided by this 2. So S is equal to 1 and T is equal to n minus 1 by 2 here. Hence, n is a strong pseudo prime to the base b if and only if b raised to n minus 1 by 2. That is b raised to our t congruent to plus or minus 1 modulo n using the definition of strong pseudo prime. This is the only possibility since S is equal to 1. Now, let us consider the case when n is an Euler pseudo prime. Then, since b and n are relatively prime, that is, since the GCD of b and n is equal to 1, we will have b by n is equal to either plus or minus 1, and hence b raised to n minus 1 by 2 will be congruent to Jacobi symbol b by n using the property of Jacobi symbol, and that is congruent to plus or minus 1. Thus we have b raised to n minus 1 by 2 is congruent to plus or minus 1 modulo n as required. So we can conclude that n is a strong pseudo prime. So we have proved that if n is an Euler pseudo prime, then n is a strong pseudo prime. Now, for the converse part, assume that b raised to n minus 1 by 2 is congruent to plus or minus 1. That is, we assume that n is a strong pseudo prime. Now, we have to show that n is an Euler pseudo prime. That is, we need to show that this number b raised to n minus 1 by 2 is congruent to Jacobi symbol b by n. So, it is enough to show that this plus or minus 1 on the right side is in fact Jacobi symbol b by n itself. Now, we are given the condition n is congruent to 3 modulo 4. So, we can write n as a multiple of 4 plus 3. Hence, we have already seen that whenever n is congruent to 3 modulo 4, there exists an odd number of prime divisors p of n such that p is congruent to 3 modulo 4. And those divisors p will satisfy the condition p minus 1 congruent to 2, so that p minus 1 is a multiple of 2 and it won't be a multiple of 4. Hence, for such prime divisors p, we will have minus 1 raised to p minus 1 by 2 will be equal to minus 1 raised to an odd integer. So, that will be equal to minus 1 itself. Thus, for those odd number of prime divisors p of n, we will have minus 1 raised to p minus 1 by 2 equal to minus 1. Now, we know that Jacobi symbol minus 1 by n can be expressed as a product over all prime divisors p of n, Legendre symbol minus 1 by p. So, it will be product over all prime divisors p minus 1 raised to p minus 1 by 2. And for those prime divisors which are congruent to 3 modulo 4, this power will be equal to minus 1, and for all other prime divisors that will be equal to plus 1. So, this product will be equal to minus 1 since there are odd number of prime divisors which are congruent to 3 modulo 4. So, minus 1, this product will be equal to minus 1 into minus 1 into minus 1 odd times. So, the product will be definitely equal to minus 1. And we already know that Jacobi symbol 1 by n is equal to 1 itself. So, we can combine these two results. Here, we can state that plus or minus 1 is equal to plus or minus 1 by n. Now, we know that n is congruent to 3 modulo 4. So, n minus 3 divided by 4 will be an integer. So, we can express b square by n raised to n minus 3 by 4 as b raised to n minus 3 by 4 by n, this Jacobi symbol square. The Jacobi symbol will be either plus or minus 1 and its square will be equal to plus 1. So we can express the Jacobi symbol B by n as B by n into this quantity, since it is equal to plus 1. And we can combine these two Jacobi symbols as B into B square raised to n minus 3 by 4 by n. And this product will be B raised to n minus 1 by 2 by n, and we know that this will be congruent to B raised to n minus 1 by 2 modulo n, and hence we have obtained that B by n is congruent to B raised to n minus 1 by 2 modulo n as required. So we can conclude that n is an Euler pseudo prime to the base B. This completes our proof.